Apple's next MacBook Pro could be closer than you think. We are talking about the upcoming M6 MacBook Pro, which is currently expected to arrive later this year. But here is the interesting part. While M6 itself could bring some serious performance improvements, Apple may actually keep the MacBook Pro design almost exactly the same. So, what exactly we are expecting? Let's break down everything we know so far. But before that, if you would like to buy the current MacBook Pro or any other tech product of your choice, then I've also shared my Amazon's affiliate link in the description of this video. You can use that link to buy those products, and that will be a really very great support for the channel. Now, first of all, let's talk about the launch. According to reports from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple is preparing a 14-inch MacBook Pro with the new M6 chip, with a launch expected in the second half of 2026, and October is currently one of the strongest expectations. Apple has not officially announced the product or confirmed a launch date yet, so keep that in mind. Now let's get to the biggest upgrade, and that is the M6 chip itself. The M6 is expected to be Apple's first Mac chip built using TSMC's 2 nanometer manufacturing process, and that could be a big deal. Moving from 3 nanometer technology to 2 nanometer technology should allow Apple to put more transistors into the chip while potentially improving both performance and power efficiency. But the M6 isn't just about the manufacturing process. Reports suggest Apple is also working on a new memory architecture. The M6 could deliver around 200 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth. For comparison, the M5 has around 153 gigabytes per second. That's roughly a 30% increase. But this could be particularly important for AI workloads and also for graphics and demanding professional applications as well. The GPU is also getting attention. Apple is reportedly testing an M6 configuration with up to 12 GPU cores. The GPU is also getting attention. Apple is reportedly testing an M6 configuration with up to 12 GPU cores compared with 10 GPU cores on the base M5. The GPU is also expected to receive architectural improvements designed partly around AI workloads. And that brings us to another major area, Apple Intelligence and on-drive AI. The M6 is expected to feature an upgraded neural engine and other improvements aimed at AI processing. So while Apple may not completely transform the MacBook Pro externally, the silicon inside could be significantly more capable. There are also reports of improvements of the video encoding and decoding engines for people using their MacBook Pro for Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, or other video production softwares. This could be particularly interesting for them. Now, here is where things get a little confusing. You may have seen reports saying that next MacBook Pro will have an OLED display, a touchscreen, and a completely new design. But don't automatically assume that's the M6 MacBook Pro we're talking about. Current reporting suggests the base 14-inch M6 MacBook Pro will retain the current generation design. That means we are probably looking at the familiar aluminum body, current display, technology, keyboard, trackpad, and port selection. The much bigger OLED and touchscreen redesign appears to be a separate high-end MacBook Pro project. And recent reports suggest those machines could use M5 Pro and M5 Max chips rather than an M6 Pro or M6 Max. And this leads to one of the strangest parts of Apple's upcoming Mac strategy. Apple reportedly has no plans for an M6 Pro or M6 Max. Instead, Apple may move directly from the M6 generation to M7 for its higher end chips. That's unusual because Apple has normally followed a base chip with Pro and Pro Max versions. The reason appears to be Apple's increasing focus on AI and more advanced graphics workloads. And there is another interesting possibility. The M6 MacBook Pro could actually become a relatively short-lived generation. Reports suggest Apple is already planning a redesigned M7 MacBook Pro for 2027, potentially with a new design and OLED technology. So if you're thinking about buying a MacBook Pro this year, there is a real question to consider. Do you want the performance of M6 or do you wait for a much bigger design change? For people who already own an M4 or M5 MacBook Pro, the decision could be even harder. The M6 should bring better performance, better efficiency, and stronger AI capabilities, but visually it may not feel like a completely new MacBook. And finally, there is a price. Apple hasn't announced the M6 MacBook Pro price yet, and current memory and component shortages could make pricing unpredictable. So I wouldn't trust any website claiming it knows the exact price right now. At this point, the safest picture is this. A 14-inch M6 MacBook Pro is expected later in 2026. It could feature Apple's first 2nm M series chip, around 200 GB's memory, a redesigned GPU with up to 12 cores, improved AI processing, and better video capabilities. But don't expect the OLED touchscreen redesign on this particular base M6 model. And perhaps most importantly, this could be the final MacBook Pro generation before Apple makes a much bigger design change with the M7 generation. Of course, none of this is officially confirmed until Apple takes the stage. So as soon as Apple announces the M6 MacBook Pro, we will know the real specification, price, performance, and release date. So if you want to stay updated on everything coming from Apple, make sure you subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments below, would you buy the M6 MacBook Pro or would you wait for the redesigned OLED MacBook Pro? Thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.